feel comfortable at her own house. I'm not really sure why her mom wanted to stay at my house. With the whole texting thing, that was kind of odd, but we were already at my house, so I just let them both stay.
Was it strange to you that both Harley and her mom were now staying at the house as opposed to just Harley as originally arranged?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Did it make it even more strange that this is also at the time that Harley's young little brother was also missing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Oh, a second. Good question. How was her behavior, the defendant's behavior, at your house?
Really, we just walked into my house, talked for a little bit, and then I let them get settled in the living room, and then I just went upstairs.
Okay. So you have a 2-story house?
It's technically a 3, but the basement's unfinished.
Okay. So is your bedroom upstairs?
On the 2nd floor.
And then
Technically the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where did they stay, Harley and her mother?
On the 2nd floor, when you first enter the ground level.
Okay. Did you hear any strange noises the night that they stayed the night there?
No.
Did the defendant do anything out, that didn't make any sense or loud or anything like that?
No.
Did she act as if any other house guest would act while she was there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Cook, cross-examination.
I don't have any questions for this witness. Thank you.
All right. Do any of the jurors have any questions for Ms. Sanchez? No? All right. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Watch your step. Prosecution, call your next witness, please.
Good afternoon, Judge. We'd call Nicole Mobley. Just going to cross Nicole. You guys want to do this?
Ms. Mobley, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, ma'am.
You're just going right up to that.
Right there is fine for right now. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
You're a little nervous, right?
Just a little bit.
It's okay. You're not the only one, okay?
Okay.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your first and last name?
Nicole Mobley, Nicole Mobley.
And Ms. Mobley, where do you reside?
Morrison Ranch.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Me?
I'm going to show you what's been introduced in evidence as People's Exhibit 4. Recognize this at all?
Yeah, it's my neighborhood.
Let me see if I can get this easy over here. We're going to put it on the easel here, and I don't know if can you still see it?
Yeah.
And I don't need you to be precise, but can you just point out the general area of where you live, if you can see this in People's Exhibit 4? Here you go. I'm gonna give you this.
I'd be over here somewhere.
So for the record, you pointed to Mumford Drive in between Tarbell Drive?
Yeah, I'm on Decker, but the school's right here, and my house would be like over in the section kind of by it.
Okay, great. How long have you lived there?
2 years? No, I'm sorry. That's way off. 3.5, almost 4 years.
So you were living there back in January of 2020?
Yes.
And while you were living in that neighborhood, did you have an occasion to meet someone named Letecia Stauch?
I did.
And tell the jury about how you met her.
So I think the first time I had posted a thing on our neighborhood page, I was looking for clothes for my niece that just moved in with us. And I had got a message from a Harley Hunt, is who I thought I was speaking to. And then they offering some free clothes for us. And when the person actually showed up to my house to drop off those clothes, it was Letecia.
Okay. You talked about a neighborhood. How did you describe it? Was it a Facebook page?
Yeah, we have a lot of neighborhood like Facebook pages that are just for people in the neighborhood. I don't know if I put it on the residence page or like one of the for sale pages, but it's just everybody in the neighborhood.
And I know you're a little nervous, but only one of us can talk at a time.
Mm-hmm.
She's typing everything we're saying, believe it or not. And so if you could just wait until I'm done and I'll wait till you're done.
Okay.
We'll do the best we can.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So someone named Harley Hunt responds to your page. Is that what happens?
Yes. I assumed it was Harley Hunt.
And did you then make arrangements for them to come by your house?
Yeah, to come drop them off at my house.
Okay. So tell us about that. Did someone come by your house?
Yes, Letecia came by my house.
And what happened when she came to your house?
She knocked on the door. Initially, she was just supposed to leave them on the porch, but I ended up being at home. She knocked on the door. I opened it. She handed me the clothes, and we had a conversation.
And do you see Letecia Stauch in the courtroom today?
I do, yes.
Could you point her out and describe what she's wearing?
She's sitting at the end of that desk in a pinkish purple shirt.
Only female seated at the defense table?
Yes.
May the record reflect identification of Ms. Stauch subject to cross-examination.
Record will so reflect. Go ahead.
So what happened when the defendant came to your residence?
She came to the door, handed me the clothes, and then we just had a conversation. It was a little weird. I didn't know her. I had never met her before that. And I was kind of off put first because I thought I was meeting a Harley Hunt. And it obviously wasn't, but she didn't introduce herself as to who she was. And it was just kind of weird because I didn't know her and she was kind of just talking to me about life stuff. And like we had been best friends.
Okay.
So it was a little off-putting, but
And do you remember about when this may have happened?
it was right before Christmas, probably December 20 something. It was before Christmas of 2019.
So it would have been December 2019?
Yeah.
Was it the Christmas before you later learned that Gannon went missing?
Yes.
And so was there anything unusual about this initial contact other than it seemed like she was spilling her guts to you?
No, not really.
Did you have more conversation with her?
I did. She wrote me later on telling me she had forgot a pair of pants. That was just nothing. The next time was a couple days later on Christmas. She had sent me another message.
And what was that message about? Do you recall?
Yeah, she said that she was going on a work trip, that she worked for an airline and she needed to go to a training, and had asked if my teenage niece wanted to go over and basically watch the house, but also hang out with her teenage daughter.
And so did you learn that she had a teenage daughter when you initially met her at your house in December of 2019?
I kind of put it together considering she wasn't Harley Hunt and that's who I was like that was the name of the person I was messaging, and she kept saying my daughter in those messages.
And did you have a teenage daughter?
My niece was a teenager.
Okay. And so did the conversation come up back in December 2019 that, hey, maybe your niece and my daughter could get together, that kind of thing?
Yeah, she said that her daughter Harley didn't really have any friends because she didn't go to school here. So she needed somebody to watch her house and help with the dogs, and that it would be maybe a good way for them to kind of hang out too.
Right. And did that ever happen?
I didn't feel comfortable with it because I didn't know her and I wasn't sending my niece to somebody else's house.
And was your niece living with you at that time?
She was, yes.
All right. When was the next time you heard from Miss Stout?
The next time I heard from her, the next time I had any communication.
Well, either. Had you talked to her, let me just ask it this way. Had you talked to her prior to Gannon reporting missing?
No,
So it was just,
or not that I recall.
Sorry.
I don't think so.
And so how did you learn that Gannon Stout, her stepson, went missing?
There was a post on one of those neighborhood pages saying that, I don't remember exactly what it said. It's been a long time. I just remember there was a post that went up saying that her son or stepson didn't return home from a friend's house and basically asking for help if anybody had seen him or could help find him.
And so prior to seeing that post, had you and the defendant talked about the defendant's family situation, who was living in their house, how many kids and that kind of thing?
I don't, not that I remember.
You only remember her talking about Harley, the teenage daughter?
I remember when she was at my house that first time, that weird conversation that we kind of had was talking about weird things, just like, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. No, because that, I do remember. So when she was asking if we would come and stay, or if my niece could come and stay at the house, she had mentioned her husband works nights and is in the Army and is gone a lot. She mentioned Harley because of hanging out with my niece. And then she mentioned, I think it was the little girl, talking about her going to Grand Mountain, but I think that's it. I don't remember hearing anything else.
And when you say talking about weird things, what do you mean?
I just mean, I didn't know her, but she kind of talked to me like I knew her and just being frustrated at home life. It was a very short conversation. It was just, I think to me, the reason it's weird is because if I don't know someone, I don't usually start talking about things like I know them and like I should know what they're talking about.
So was it like, wait, too much information here?
Yeah, kind of. And I'm used to, in the neighborhood, we do porch drop-offs. So you don't usually have to communicate with the person. They drop it off and leave. I'm not a very sociable person when I'm in the comfort of my home. And it was just kind of, thanks, have a great night kind of thing. Not, I want to stand on the porch in the cold for 20 minutes.
Gotcha. So let's talk about when you see the post about Gannon being missing. What did you do next?
Told my husband, and he just knows how I am. So he was like, do you want to go? Do you want to go help look? So we did. We got dressed in warm clothes and we headed out and went to start looking.
And would this have been on the night of January 27th, 2020?
Yes.
And approximately what time was it that you went out looking? Do you remember?
I don't remember what time we started. I don't remember.
Was it nighttime out?
It was nighttime.
What was the weather like?
Freezing. I think it started snowing while we were out there because I remember being soaking wet and it was absolutely freezing out.
Was there any plans or any areas that people were looking? I mean, this post that you saw, did you have a game plan on where you were going to go look and things like that?
So there weren't really any plans like communicated with anybody. I think thinking of the age of the boy, it was, let's go look by the school, let's go to any of the parks in the neighborhood, and then let's go look over by the house. And then we have these like ditches that are in the neighborhood that a lot of kids like to go down and play under. So it was just kind of staying in that general area. Okay, if my kid was to go roaming off and hanging out with friends, where would they go? So we just kind of went based off of that.
And so you indicated that you thought it might be a good idea to go look at his house, Gannon's house. Would that have been 6627?
Yes.
People that were before there, we have a big label that says 6627 Mandan Drive. Is that the area we're talking about?
Yeah, there's a lot of like field where you can see there's not really any houses. Majority of what we did was in those fields.
And so were there other people out looking in the neighborhood?
There was a bunch.
No, you probably didn't count them, but approximately how many?
I'd say 40 at least. I mean, there were people out there with drones. There was a lot of people.
Flashlights?
Flashlights, vehicles, drones, people on feet. Excuse me. There were some people out there with dogs. I mean, it was like an unorganized / organized search is what it looked like.
And so best you know, was everyone reacting to this Facebook post about, it's okay, about a child being missing in the neighborhood?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
The neighborhood's kind of coming together?
Yes.
And did you talk to other people as you're searching and you're all searching for the same person?
Oh, yeah.
When you're in the area of 6627 Mandan Drive, did you stop by and see Miss Stauch, or was Miss Stauch out searching in that area, or do you remember?
I didn't stop by her house. I thought it was kind of weird because we're all out here looking, and it was very obvious that she was at her house and not out here looking.
Why was that obvious?
I'm trying to remember exactly how. I mean, there was a lot of people that were going up to her house, and she was opening the door, and you could just tell lights were on. I mean, plus I met a majority of everybody that was out there, and none of them were her.
And obviously you had met her before, and so did you tie it together that Gannon Stauch was living in the same house with Letecia Stauch?
Yeah, as soon as the post went up on the neighborhood page, I recognized her right away.
Was she a picture of her on the post?
Not on the post, like her Facebook picture.
Oh, okay. And so as you're out that neighborhood, did you ever see any police cars coming to 6627 Mandan Drive?
I don't remember seeing any when I was there.
How long were you out there, do you think?
Hours. We were out until about 2-3 a.m.
Oh, so you went in that into the early morning hours of the 28th.
Oh, yeah. By the time we got home, we had mud all the way up our legs, our arms. We were covered.
And were people out there pretty consistently until the early morning hours looking, or?
It died down a lot, probably around midnight. I mean, it did get really cold. If I remember correctly, I think it started snowing. So some people, I think, did have to kind of start giving up. So at that time, like, as long as we went, there was probably maybe a handful of us at that point.
And so into the 28th of January, 2020, did you continue to follow the progress of the case, the Facebook postings and things like that?
I did to an extent.
Tell us about that.
I tried not to read into, or I guess look too much into the drama stuff that was going on through it. More of, I tried to focus on the facts of things that were going on, or posts that were made directly from the defendant.
A lot of drama and
A lot.
speculation and things like that on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Was the media reporting pretty heavily on Gannon's disappearance as well?
Yes.
Were you watching that?
Yes, those things I would.
Did you reach out to Ms. Stauch and offer her to help or do anything in any way?
That was another thing that kind of set me off. The night that he went missing, I had sent her a message. I cannot remember what I said in it, but I remember it was something trying to get information like where we should be looking, and she blocked me immediately.
What kind of message did you send her? Was it a text? Was it social media? Was it a phone message? How did you try to reach her?
Facebook Messenger.
And prior to that, had you been messaging on Facebook?
For the previous times that we spoke, it was Facebook, yes.
And did you ever talk to her about why she blocked you or anything like that?
Well, she blocked me, so I couldn't. I know my husband sent her a message saying, I don't understand why you blocked my wife. We're just trying to help you. Is there something you have against her? Like, what's going on? But we never got a response.
Did you continue to progress or watch the progress of the investigation to see whether or not Gannon was found, that kind of thing?
I did. I also, any search party that they had, we had like blue ribbon ceremonies, different things that we did. I participated in everything.
Do you recall seeing the defendant, Ms. Stauch, being interviewed on KKTV during this time frame?
I do.
What do you recall from that interview?
Can you, as in, like, what do you mean? I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that one.
No, I answer it truthfully. I mean, did that spark anything and want you to be involved in the investigation based on what you saw her say during that interview?
The first thing that stood out to me, I think, with that interview is she didn't face the camera. And then there was a lot of, in my opinion, it sounded like her speaking in past tense when she would mention Gannon. But I also thought it was really weird that a majority of that newscast was her worrying about what people thought about her instead of worrying about where Gannon was.
And did that trigger your personality as to want to know more or find out more about what had happened to Gannon based on everything you're seeing, not only this interview, but the post on social media and things like that?
Most definitely.
Was there a point in time where you tried to reach out to Ms. Stauch again via some Facebook pages?
I did, yes.
And what kind of Facebook pages did you reach out to? Do you recall?
Do you mean which one of hers or what? What do you mean?
Well, let me, was there a Facebook page called Support E or Ms. Stauch or something?
Yeah, there were several pages. I don't know if I communicated with her on any of her responses that were happening on those pages. I might have made comments to other people, but I don't remember if I communicated with her on those. I just know that I reached out to her on personal Facebook Messenger.
Is this the same Facebook page that you were blocked on previously or another Facebook page?
Another one.
Do you recall the name of that?
I think it might have been, it was either Letecia Stauch or T Stauch.
Okay. Did you get a response?
No, not initially.
When you say not initially, does that mean you eventually got a response?
Yes, I ended up creating a fake Facebook page
Talk
and
about that. Why did you do that?
I wanted to see if I could get her to respond to me. And I knew she wouldn't on my original page.
And why did you want her to respond to you?
I felt like the conversation that we had on my front porch the first time that I met her, I kind of could figure out ways to get her to communicate with me based off of her, like the kind of things that she wanted to talk about. So I figured if I wrote her on a different page and could get her to start talking, if I worded things properly, I might be able to get her to start talking to me.
So did that happen?
It did.
Tell the jury about that. What did you put in the Facebook page Messenger to get her to start talking to you?
I went on and kind of based it off, or started writing things based off of things that I had seen in the news or on social media, like things that she was saying. She had a lot of, I think, hate for Landon. And I think that I kind of started off with a combination of agreeing with her about things that involve Landon. And I also, there was a video that came out about a truck in a shadow. And I also wrote her saying I believed her about the shadow under the truck.
And is this video the video of when Ms. Stauch and Gannon come back on the afternoon of January 27th, 2020, and you see a leg drop on the other side of the truck?
Yes.
And it's posted on the internet?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's the video. Yes.
The shadow is actually a leg coming down,
Yes.
and Ms. Stauch was saying who did that leg belong to?
She told me it was Gannon.
Did you eventually continue communications with Ms. Stauch via text?
Yeah. So I continued on Facebook Messenger and then eventually we did make it onto a texting app.
Tell us about the texting app. Whose idea was it to use a texting app?
She had asked me to download a texting app on my phone so that we could talk more privately.
And was this on February 19th of 2020?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Did you go to the police department fairly shortly after this string of text messages?
I don't remember how long it was, but I feel it was pretty soon after that, yes.
If a report indicates that you went to the police department on Friday, February 21st, 2020,
Sounds right.
would that be accurate?
Yes,
And when you went there, did you take your phone with you?
I did.
And did you provide your phone to law enforcement so they can take screenshots of this text messages that you're having?
I did. They took it for several weeks.
And would you recognize those text messages if you saw them again?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Handy what's been marked as People's Exhibit 30 or 233. And within that exhibit, there's 33 pages. Do you see those?
I do, yes.
You could take a moment and go through those 33 pages, and I'll ask you some follow-up questions.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to do that?
Yes.
I want to talk about the first 31 pages.
Okay.
Are those messages that you exchanged with the defendant, Ms. Stauch, on February 19th, a Wednesday, from 9:59 in the morning to 11:48 in the morning?
Yes.
The second to last page, is that a text message that you exchanged with a Harley Hunt?
Yes.
And is that your text message as well, the one to Harley Hunt?
It is.
The last page, page 33, is that a text message that you sent to your husband?
It is.
Is the message that you wrote to your husband accurate? Is that what you said after this text string that you had with the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Now back to the original 33 pages. I think I've already asked you that. Is that a true and accurate depiction of the conversation you had with Ms. Stauch back on February 19th, 2020?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 233.
Yes.
Objection.
Exhibit 233 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Request to publish.
You may. Go ahead.
You can zoom in. Thanks. You can either look at the TV screens or actually look at the notebook, whatever you're more comfortable doing.
Okay.
We're on to page 1 here. Before we talk about page 1, what was your motivation here? Why were you trying to get her to talk?
Sometimes I get this impression of myself that I can get people to tell me things that other people can't. So I just wanted to give it a shot.
When you're talking to the defendant here, has Gannon been found yet?
No.
Were you trying to find Gannon?
Yes.
Were you trying to get information from her so that Gannon can be found?
Yes.
The top of the text says Barbie Girl. You know who Barbie Girl is?
It was Letecia.
And did you know that that was her name through the Facebook messaging before you started this text app?
I didn't know that she didn't tell me the name, but it was the phone number.
And it says Wednesday at 9:59. Is that approximately when this all started?
Yes.
And that would have been February 19th?
Yes.
So when it says to verify it's you, what was your real first name, LOL? Is that Ms. Stauch talking?
Yes, sir.
And prior to getting the string of messages, were you certain that it was Ms. Stauch who you were talking to?
Yes, sir. We did a thing on previous messages where I had asked her something. I don't remember what it was, but to validate it was her, that only she would know, and she did that.
And is she now validating who you are?
Yes, sir.
I.e. Nicole is what you respond?
Yes.
So we can scroll down a little bit. And again, everything that you say is going to be in green, right?
Yes.
She's saying, yep. Go ahead. What does she say?
That she was realizing who I was, verifying that that's.
She said, okay, so listen, I didn't hurt my son or kill him or anything. I want you to know that. I also want to know that I can trust you on here.
Yes.
How did you take that?
I guess kind of in a couple ways. That obviously she knows something, but that I needed to work really hard to gain her trust, and maybe I could get her to tell me something. I don't know.
And so how did you respond? Go ahead and read that.
100%. If you look up both my real profile and my fake on any of the Gannon pages, you will see I've been pointing out the shadow and I have not bashed you.
So is that what we're talking about, the leg drop that we see January 27th when they get home?
Yes, sir.
And why did you tell her this?
So there was a lot of drama and things that were going on. People trying to zoom, like on social media, zooming in and trying to determine if there was a shadow or a leg. Because there was a lot of, well, we didn't see him come home. So she, I think at one point was involved in some of that communication, trying to push that. So I knew if I reached out and said, I believe you, this is what I saw, that she would start to trust me.
And so just so we're clear, there's a video that was posted on the internet that sees the defendant and Gannon get in a truck and leave about 10, 13, and 7.
Yes, sir.
And then there's also a video that comes back. The truck backs up into the driveway. You can't see the other side of the truck. All right?
Correct.
You see Ms. Stauch get out of the driver's side.
Yes.
And then that's when you see this leg drop on the other side. And there were people saying, Gannon never came home with her, so she must have did something.
Yeah, there was a lot of videos, people circling it and saying that's not a shadow or that's not a lake, trying to say that some people thought he came home and some people didn't. So it was a lot of back and forth on that.
So that's what's going on social media, and so that's how did you want to gain her trust by saying, hey, I'm with you on this, that type of thing?
Yeah, she wanted to make sure she could trust me. And the only thing I could think of is if I went along the lines of certain things that were going on in the moment and I was on her side for that part, that I would gain that trust.
And so she responds, thank you. I do need some help, though, and I could help you in return. Before you think this isn't anything bad or anything like that. You recall that?
I do.
What did you think that was all about?
I didn't really know where she was going with it. Let me think on that. I'm sorry.
Well, we can scroll down and see what your response is.
Yeah.
Well, now we're on page 2 of that exhibit. So your response is just to show you what I've said to my own family in the past about all this. Can't make out. Looks like you attached something to the text.
Yeah, I think I attached something that like a message I might have sent to somebody else talking about it. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was just like, look, I'm showing you. I even told somebody in my family I believed you.
Is that again to gain her trust?
Yes.
So how does she respond after you do that?
Did you want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. If I had did this, I couldn't have gone but so far and they would have found him. But they are focusing on me wasting valuable time.
He says thank you.
Thank you.
And then what do you say?
Okay, what do you need help with? I definitely don't think you would ask me to do anything bad, so it's okay.
And what does she say?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's
So
okay.
I want you to tell the truth.
And you respond okay.
Mhm.
Go to page 3. And some of these are kind of repetitive just because of the way they did the screenshots, so bear with me. So you say okay, and then what does she say?
Someone was in the home when we got back. I gave this to police at my initial interview, but I thought he was being defiant and just going against his dad's wishes, leaving. I blacked out.
What do you take from that?
Well, I didn't believe it. But I don't know. I didn't believe what she was saying. I was kind of just waiting for a story to come.
Is this the first you had heard about someone else being in the house?
It is, as far as I remember, yes.
First you heard of her blacking out?
Yes.
Up until February 19th, 2020, did you just think Gannon was missing, or what was your thoughts about what had happened to Gannon?
I hoped he was just missing, but from the very first night, I just had a bad feeling.
We can scroll down, please. Oh, so you respond, so blacked out before he left, because I'm a mom, and I know how that is. He says, I've done it and overreacted. You mean to say reacted?
Yes.
With my kids and situations. I just did it with my house flooded. What do you mean by that?
So I think in my head, I was thinking maybe a situation happened and she overreacted and something might have happened. So I wanted to kind of play on that and say, look, I'm a mom. I've overreacted in situations. My house had just flooded, so I could have overreacted in that situation. So I was just kind of, I think, trying to play along with it.
You didn't know what was going to come next, I take it?
I had no idea.
So what does she say next?
I am beginning to think that the guy was still in the home when police came. Either way, he popped back up with Gannon, so I'm assuming they were in the storage room. He threatened me, and I put them girls upstairs to protect them.
She says
Yeah.
And you asked her who was the guy.
Yes.
How'd she respond?
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. He took a suitcase and some of our things and Gannon's things, and I was crying. Then he hit me across the head.
So is this the first you heard of a suitcase?
Very first time, yeah.
And how did you respond to that? And why did you respond the way you did?
This is why the cops are being the way they are. They knew you didn't do it, and that's why they are being so quiet. I knew you were innocent. So I responded in that way because, once again, I'm trying to keep her thinking that I'm on her side so that she'll continue telling me more.
So how does she respond to you saying that?
Someone had to see him leaving with a suitcase and G. I don't know if she, I assume was he, was hurt when he did. I was scared. Someone has to be a witness to having seen this guy. Someone had to and is scared.
So as you're out there, night of the 27th, searching fields and the ditches and the whole neighborhood around their residence, anybody carrying a suitcase walking around?
Not at all. I would have questioned that
Would anybody stop that person, strange man in the neighborhood?
in a heartbeat. Our neighborhood has cameras everywhere, and you can't be a guy selling solar panels walking up to somebody's door without somebody posting, "Who's this weirdo at my door?"
We can zoom in on the next page, please. So she said someone has to be a witness to having seen this guy. Someone had to and is scared. And you said, can I ask you this? You think Landon sent this guy?
Yes.
How does she respond?
I will do anything to find that person, but I don't know how. She could have, and then things may have went wrong.
Now, had you gotten to know Landon and Al and Lena and the rest of the family from efforts that were going on in the neighborhood to try to find Gannon?
I remember, I think I met a few of them maybe once for a very small amount of time. I think there was an aunt and Lena at one of the events that I got to play with Lena and do a few things with, but I didn't get to know them, no.
Was there a church in the neighborhood that was heavily involved in the search effort, and people would meet at the church and discuss things and try to find Gannon?
Yeah, we would do it at the church, but we also had a point when right off of Mandan, there's that field, and we actually set up tables with food and snacks and waters, and everybody would gather there and do search parties. And I think that's where I did most of my communication the one time that I think I spoke with a couple of them.
So why did you ask her if she thought Landon was involved in this?
It was made very clear, and I don't remember how, if it was social media or what it was, but that she didn't like Landon. So I think I was trying to play off of, okay, well, she doesn't like her, so if I start talking about Landon, it pulls her in more because I'm kind of siding with her.
Okay. We can scroll down, please. And you say, I've been thinking she sent someone to get both kids.
Yes,
Same thing?
same thing.
You're trying to draw more information out of her?
Yeah. And that's what I had meant in the previous, or when she had said things may have went wrong in the previous one, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if I play off of, okay, maybe Landon sent somebody down here and it didn't go right. They were only able to get the one kid, and you know what I mean? Kind of played it off.
And then she responds to that, says, but Lena was gone, so he couldn't.
Yes.
And did you know who Lena was?
At this point, yeah, I did.
Was that Gannon's 8-year-old little sister?
Yes.
And you asked her, how did he get into the house? Did he force his way, or did he act like he was there for a reason? Do you recall asking her that?
I do, yes.
Trying to get more information?
Yes.
And how did she respond to that? Can you read that for us?
When we went in through the garage, I went into the bathroom. So either already in there or came gate. Maybe G had seen him before. That's why he kept checking the gate to make sure it was locked.
And then how did you, what's the next thing you asked?
Do you think the detectives believe you but have to act the way they are so this guy doesn't know they are onto him?
Where'd that come from?
Again, just I think I had heard things of her talking about, I did actually, I think some of it might have even been in the news. She was really against those detectives. So I wanted to play off of, well, maybe the detectives are just doing this as a ploy. They're going to try and make it seem like you so that nobody's focusing on this other person.
Doesn't make any sense though, does it? Does that make any sense to you as to why the police would do that?
No, not at all.
So are you just basing on things that she posted on Facebook about the incompetence of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office or something like that?
I'm playing off of anything that has either been said by her on Facebook or the thing on the news.
Okay. And how does she respond to that?
Not sure. I think they don't have anything on Ring cameras. Someone had to see him leave. I need a witness. Any amount. Do whatever for them if they come forward. They need to start looking for the guy and posting it on our states. It's just on our states. I don't know.
Okay. And then how did you respond to that?
Oh my God, I'm telling you, I think Landon did this to try to get her kids back, and it went wrong. So now she is using this to get money for her nasty habits. Poor Gannon, I really hope he isn't being tortured.
Where are you getting this information from?
Posts. There were things that were going around about Landon potentially having a certain kind of background. Why was Gannon and Lena in, out their custody anyways? So I kind of just played off of that because, again, I knew that she didn't like Landon.
Were these posts that were in this support T Stout website or Facebook page?
I'm
people
pretty
for
sure.
supporting her.
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
And how did she respond to that? Can we scroll down, please?
And get off me. He would have been found close by if it was the killer. I couldn't have went far. I think something went wrong now. It's been too long. She would have had him come back and then tried to say we were bad parents by now.
Now, what do you think she meant? Can you please leave that up? What do you think she meant when she said, he may be close by if I was the killer?
Object to, she can,
Yeah,
that's a speculation.
It goes to her response to this, right?
well, no, she can't testify as to what somebody else was thinking. She can testify as to what somebody else said and why she undertook a certain course of action, but she can't testify to what somebody else was thinking.
What was going through your mind when you heard her say, if I would have killed him, he would have been close by?
Just trying to, I'm trying to think of how to answer that the right way without going against it.
Was this the first time you ever heard her say anything about if I was the killer?
Yes, 100%. I'd never heard anything about him being killed prior to this.
Can we scroll down now, please, to see what your response is? So you respond, did Gannon seem like he knew him? Or was he acting scared when he was talking?
Taking him.
Taking him, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Is that how you responded?
Yes.
Now, above that, she says, I think something went wrong now. It's been too long. She would have had him come back and tried to say we were bad parents by now. Now, I think he may be out of state. All that?
I do, yes.
Is this the first time you ever heard her say anything about Gannon being out of state?
Yes.
And did you later learn that Gannon's body was found in the state of Florida?
I did.
Go to the next page, please. So she responded to when you asked if Gannon knew him. He didn't act like he knew him. Do you recall that?
I do, yes.
And what else did she say?
The guy did say friends with Uncle Matt, but I don't know if that is real. He doesn't have an uncle named that on our side.
And how did you respond to that?
Oh my God, see, this is what I was thinking. And I told my husband, I think Bio Mom did this. Does Landon have anyone she knows named Matt that she says is like a brother?
And again, why are you saying this?
Again, just to continue going along the lines of what I think she wants to hear.
And how did she respond to that?
I need a witness that the guy left. I will do anything. I'm not asking you. I'm asking if you know anyone who will. I will give them my life, a reward, whatever. Anything to get them to expand the search.
No, Martina, just so you know, we've been watching, we watched day 1 and 2 yesterday. Day 1 was the opening statements, and then Dad started off his testimony. I don't think you missed anything. And then day 3 this morning, we watched all Dad's testimony, and now we into day 4. Oh, we moving. But I think you been here the whole time. I don't think you missed nothing, boo. You're right in there. Yes, SD. I will clip that for you so you can rewatch it. I'll do it after we get finished today. Yeah, but how? Yeah, no, we kind of like doing 2 days in 1 day, if that makes sense, because we don't have to worry about any of the breaks and stuff like that. All right, here we go. No, you right in here, Martina. You good. You good. What you say, Susie? You so silly.
And how did you respond to that?
Did he ask where the little girl was, or what did he say to you?
So he said, is that your daughter at the door? You recall that?
I do, yes.
And then says, but I sent her to the mailbox.
Yes.
You know who she's referring to when she says daughter?
Yes, Lena.
I'm losing my mind because they need to look for the description of the guy. They need to expand and put up alerts in states. My heart is breaking.
Yes.
What was going through your mind at this time as far as how you're going to respond to get more information?
I think this time it might have taken me a little bit to kind of think about it. I guess I kind of got thrown off because earlier she had said, when I had made the when I had said something about maybe Landon had something to do with this and intended to come get both kids, the defendant's response was, but couldn't because Lena wasn't home. But then all of a sudden it's, well, Lena, is that your daughter at the door? So I was just kind of trying to think of things to try and play off kind of what she was saying. But I definitely was really at this point like, okay, something's not right here.
We can scroll down, please. So go ahead and read what you say there in green at 30 now on page 13.
Okay, let me think on this. On a way to help. I've been on the news and I know I can't just all of a sudden say that, but I will help figure this out or something. Who can help? Just give me a little time to think. I will help. Anything to get him found. I'm so sorry to go through that and then be accused. I can't imagine how you feel. I'm here for you.
And then she responds, you were on the news?
Yes,
Were you on the news?
I was, yes.
What were you doing on the news and what were you saying?
I was one of the searches I think that we had at the school. We did a search and maybe it wasn't a search. I think it was like a ribbon thing. We did a bunch of blue ribbons that we put all over the school. And the news had asked me to go up and speak about searching, like locations and things.
Were the blue ribbons, what were those all about? Why were there blue ribbons?
We turned the whole neighborhood blue for Gannon.
Is that his favorite color?
I think it was his favorite color, but he also loved Sonic.
We can scroll down, please. And she says, and whatever they need, they're going to have to pay me for defamation, civil rights violations, etc. But for now, I need him home. I need my boy home.
Yes.
How did you respond to that? Let's go to the next page, please.
Yes, my husband and I went out the first night till, I think it says 2 a.m.
Yeah,
And-
go ahead now.
Then I went out every day for a week looking.
Now, when you say that, how does she respond?
That's when the guy left. He took a suitcase of things and made Gannon wrapped in his cover. He hit me in the head, and then I don't know if they got in a car or what. When I got back up, I was in complete shock and crying. And when I told the police they think I'm crazy, that someone could have been there when they arrived. In my questioning, they were like, no way. In my questioning, no way the police didn't know he was there. I mean, heck, I didn't know.
So, was she trying to tell you that Gannon and this man were in the house while the police were in the house?
Yes.
How'd you respond to that?
As in the message?
Yes.
Okay. So they never even tried to look into any of what you said. WTF is wrong with law enforcement. They could have found him, but to me, they didn't even try.
You're not saying welcome to Fruta when you say WTF, I take it?
No.
Just wanted to clarify. All right.
I also didn't know if I could say the other words. So.
WTF is fine. If we can go to the next page, please. So she responds to that by saying that's when the guy left. He took a suitcase of things and made Gannon wrapped in a cover. Yeah, we need to go.
I thought those pages looked the same.
One more duplicate because we didn't catch all the
Yes.
screenshots. So in response to your WTF comment, she says, nope. They were it was someone you were cheating with. Dumb stuff. I'm telling you, when this is said and done, I will have a heck of a lawsuit from them. Do you recall her saying that?
I do, yes.
What does she continue on to say?
I've already been asked by some attorneys if my innocence prevails, then to be the first to see them. I even took a lie detector test. I wouldn't ask if I didn't need the help. I am trusting that you don't say anything about our convo. I am innocent. He is my son.
What did you think about when she says, I hope that you wouldn't say anything about our conversation or convo?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Well, what was going through your mind when she says, I am trusting that you don't say anything about our convo?
That she's probably getting ready to open up and say more.
Did you get the impression that she was going to be asking you to do something at this point?
I did, yes.
What was that?
Lie for her.
So you respond. How?
I did meet a guy that night that freaked me out so bad I had to leave with strangers to get away from him. I wish I knew how to show you what he looked like, but I don't have pictures.
Tell us about that. Did you meet some guy out there while you're searching?
I did.
What was that all about? Tell the jury.
All that was about is I was out there with my husband, but my husband ended up in a different area than I was, and some guy came up that I think he was using a drone, started hitting on me. and I felt really uncomfortable. So luckily a truck with some ladies in it that were out searching showed up and they let me get in the truck with them and they took me to another park to get away from him.
This guy had a big green suitcase that he was rolling around.
He did not. Or a little boy next to him.
Is this what you're talking about? Are you trying to lure her in by giving her some truth?
So I kind of had a feeling what she was getting ready to ask me or get more in detail of asking me. So I was trying to give her kind of that, oh, well, I did see somebody that made me uncomfortable.
So she says it may have been him, but he left with a suitcase and G was walking and took his cover.
Yes.
Did you ever ask her, what are you talking about? What is G leaving with a man and taking a cover?
I don't remember if I asked. I know that. I think I just played into everything. I don't think I asked anything specific at very many points.
Do you know who she was referring to when she said G? Is
Yes.
that Dan?
Yes.
Scroll down, please. How do you respond to that?
I will never repeat this conversation. I promise you. I believe you. Sorry.
Can I have a minute?
You all right? Yeah.
It's just that.
There's some, let me get you some tissues.
Oh, there's some. Could you read it?
Sure. Did you say this was hours later and I told my husband this guy that creeped me out, what if he had something to do with it? Then hours later came out to help search, just to be close to the house to see what was happening. And I told him this that night before I knew any of this.
Yes.
You all saying that?
I do. Yes.
You actually think that?
No.
Why'd you tell her this?
Again, just to keep her going. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
We can go down to the next one, please. Now, did she actually send you a picture during this conversation?
Yes.
And what is that picture of? Do you recall?
Gannon's bed and his blanket.
Is that why you're getting emotional because you saw this picture coming up?
Yes.
And I apologize for that.
It's okay.
What did she talk to you about when she sent you this picture?
She said, this is the cover he left with. This is online now because it showed G back at the house with me timestamped. What if you just said you remembered something suspicious after seeing this picture and explained the description and you didn't think was relevant until now because the kid had the same cover? I swear to you, I didn't do this. I just need help with someone getting this out there so they can start posting in other states.
Do you know how Dan was found?
I do, yes.
Know that he was found in a suitcase?
I do, yes.
How did you respond to this?
That's a possibility. Do you remember around what time it was?
And what did she say?
After police left, so it was last night, maybe one or so. I didn't know he was still there until police had left. And on some people were out searching, he could have blended right in.
We can scroll down, please. Did she also go on to say, especially the cars were around in the area, they had to get in a car at some point?
Yes.
Did you see anybody, kids getting in a car while you're out searching?
Not kids in this aspect, no.
Like when you're out searching?
Yes.
Is that all over the post? Is
Yes.
pictures of Gannett?
I think that I also clicked on her Facebook and looked them up too.
So you respond, yeah, there was a lot of cars and people everywhere. Is
Yes.
that true?
Yes. Well, not a lot of cars. There was a few cars, a lot of people though.
And then what did she say next at 11:11 a.m. on the 19th?
I wouldn't ask this if I didn't want to find our son. I'm cornered because of no ring activity.
Did you know what she meant by that?
Yes.
And what did that mean to you when she says that?
Just there was no footage of him leaving or any man walking out with a suitcase and a blanket and a little boy.
So no footage of that on the internet posted on Facebook pages?
No, and none on anybody's rings.
We can scroll down, please. Looks like you asked a couple questions here. Could you go ahead and read that for the jury?
Yes. So this was before the cops searched the house. So he was making Gannon hide with him and be quiet. That's not only scary, but also really sick. Do you remember I think it's supposed to say what he looks like, tall, short, skinny, fat, so I can think of a way to say it when they ask details.
Why are you saying that?
To play along, keep her going.
Do you want her to think that you're going to come up with this story and tell the police about what she's asking you to say?
I wanted her to believe this, yes.
What did you say next?
So I was in the field by your house from about 12 to 2 and could see your house most of the time. So now I need to think really hard about this because I saw a lot of people out, and now I'm wondering if I could have seen anything. It was freezing cold and we were exhausted, but there were so many people out there.
How did she respond to that?
Yes, he's Hispanic, shorter, 5'7" or 5'8", about 175 pounds. He has like either a tattoo or something on his face, maybe teardrop or something like that, but a marking. He had on a jacket. I don't remember the color, but Gannon left with him in that cover, so that stuck out to you when you seen it online. Just recently. Yes, he stayed in the house while they were there, but I didn't know until later. But he took suitcase with him. Beware, I saw him laid it up before he hit me in the head, because I'm sure he loaded the suitcase in the car and put Gannon in somehow.
Then how did you respond to that?
I wish I could remember that night better, like a car in front of your house or close, because I parked on your street a few houses down to get out and search the field.
And then when she says, at this point, I just need the main info out there. Again, I only ask because it's our child. They're looking in all the wrong places. Driving me crazy. All her saying that?
I do, yes.
Is she leading up to something? I know we're going to get to this question she's going to ask you down the road, but at the time that you see this text come across, are you anticipating her asking you to do something?
Yes.
Go to the next page, please. She says, most people want to always help, but I know this is tricky. I mean, if it's money or whatever, name it. I want them searching the right way.
Yes.
What'd you take from that?
That she's getting ready to ask me to do something and offer money for it.
And how did you respond to that?
I want to help, anything to find Gannon. My daughter knows him, and this is destroying her. And I feel broken now that I've been searching and doing what I can. And I met Lena, and that made me break down. So I'm about to meet with my dad to help him put together a chair. He just got a new house. He is nosy when I'm on my way on my phone, so I only want to message when he isn't next to me. So if I'm slow to reply, that's why. I don't want anyone knowing I'm talking to you, because then people get nosy. And like I said, anything we talk about is between us.
Okay. And you go on to say, I'm not even telling my husband, right?
Correct, yes.
You can scroll down, please. He says, okay, I think that's best. You think you could do it? Let me know what you need. Gannon is who I want home, and they can turn their searches the right way. Then they could call me back in and take me seriously.
Yes.
And how did you respond to that at 11:39?
I'm going to see if my first post is still up from that night, because that will prove that I was right by your house at that exact time and will help. And no, you don't need to give me anything. I just want to help get him home.
Why did you say that?
Just to keep her going. And I don't recall at this point, I might have already been in touch with law enforcement.
What do you mean by that?
I reached out. I think there was a number that we could call if we had any information, but I'd reached out and they ended up having me sit down with a guy from the FBI. I think it happened around this time I don't remember though. But yeah, I met with the FBI and they kind of gave me some things to go along with as well.
Do that during this conversation, or did you make a call and keep the conversation going?
I think I made a call and then kept the conversation going.
Because what do you say at 11:39 and then she responds at 11:40?
Okay, I could help with that to say, or with what to say, and yes, I will. You guys need some help too. I'm desperate to find G.
So it sounds like that you guys are having pretty constant conversation based on the timestamps on here, at least within a minute of each other.
Yes,
Was that accurate?
yes.
And she says, I'm desperate to find G. And then how did you respond to that?
You passed the polygraph, so why don't they start listening to you? I don't get it. They're dumb, and I know you passed it because they posted that you did.
Probably know what I'm going to ask now. How did you know that she took a polygraph and passed it if she did in fact do that?
Well, she had told me she was taking a polygraph, but it was posted online.
And again, were these on these pages that were support the defendant type pages?
Yes.
You can scroll down, please. And how did she respond to your polygraph question?
Well, I wanted this, and then when they call me back in, I will take that. Then they will listen. I will take a witness too. So they say, let's call me back in, and then I think they will refocus on search and search differently. And then I will take results then. The police can keep you anonymous to the public.
Now, on February 19th, were you familiar where law enforcement were searching for Gannon's body?
I think so, yes.
Where was that?
I think it was like Palmer Lake or somewhere.
So did you know that as she's talking about them searching in the right place? Was the media running stories that they're searching for Gannon in the Palmer Lake area?
Yes, if I recall correctly, I think this is when they were searching the Palmer Lake area and they had put like wall barrier type things up so people couldn't see that. So there was a lot of people posting speculation and it was all over the media.
If we can scroll down, please. You say, looking for my first post now, and then how does she respond?
Okay, even if you could just call Albert and tell him first. He would keep you anonymous, except to the police. Besides, it's for Gannon. I can't stop at anything to get them to refocus and find who that was.
So what were you thinking she's asking you to do when she says, call Albert?
She wanted me, in my opinion, she wanted me to call him and tell him that I,
Object to speculation again.
Yeah, sustained.
What were you thinking?
Sorry.
Okay? I don't want to
Sorry.
talk about what you thought she was thinking.
Yeah.
But what were you thinking when she says, I want you to call Albert?
I was thinking I was supposed to call Albert and tell him that I saw a man leaving the house with a suitcase and Gannon in a blanket and give a description of a man.
And do you know Albert Stauch to be the same person who's seated right over here?
I do, yes.
Front row?
Yes.
Had you met him during this process at, again, these events for Gannon?
I think I met him once, but I definitely saw him a lot. Yeah.
He was on the news as well?
Yes.
If we can go scroll down, please. So you say found it, and what are you referring to when you say found it?
I found the first post I had made.
Scroll down, please. And was that the end of your conversation with Ms. Stauch on February 19th, 2020?
That was the end of getting communication back. I had sent one more message on a different page at one point, but yes, that was it.
And she didn't respond to that?
No, she did not.
And then, what do we see here on the second to last page of that exhibit, page 34? Is this a different phone or a different app that you're using to communicate with someone named Harley Hunt?
No, it's Facebook, but now I'm using my, it's Facebook Messenger, but I'm now using my account as well.
So why did you reach out to Harley Hunt?
Let me read it.
We can give this some context. Do you remember when you reached out to Harley Hunt based on what you said there?
I think this is actually the night on the 27th. This was the message that I sent. I got that response, and that's when I got blocked.
So you're reaching out to Harley Hunt. Why?
Trying to figure out where we should be searching.
You also reach out to Ms. Stout about the same time.
I did. Well, I wasn't sure what account she was using because she had contacted me previously on the Harley Hunt account.
Okay.
So I initially did that, but then yes, I also tried her account as well.
And then the last page, if we can go to the last page of People's Exhibit 233, this is a text message with you and your husband. And I really want to just talk about, why did you tell your husband she wants me to lie and say I saw Gannon leave in a car with a man?
Because that's what she wanted me to do.
And is that when you went to the sheriff's office and had an interview with detectives about what we just went through?
Yes,
And you turned your phone over and let them have everything on your phone?
yes.
No more questions, Your Honor. Thanks.
Cross-examination.
Thanks,
Mr. Cook.
Approach and receive truth exhibit.
First?
Yes.
Yes.
So it looks like, by the way, good afternoon. I'm Will Cook and I represent Ms. Stauch. It looks like all the information in the text messages we went over, except for the last two, it all took place on a Wednesday from 10 a.m. in the morning to about 11:48.
Sounds about right, yes.
Okay. So all this happened in a span of less than 2 hours, this back and forth.
I think so, yes.
Okay. And did you know her, not by Letecia, but you knew her by T-E-E?
I mean, I don't know that I necessarily knew her by anything at that point.
Okay. And can I approach the witness again?
You may.
So, Ms. Mobley, it looks like all of the information, the text between you and Ms. Stauch you talked about, it looks like it has a specific person, Barbie girl, a green background. And then the last text you show between you and your husband, it's listed as my love. It's got the green background. One with Harley Hunt, it doesn't have that listed up there. Was this was in fact a Facebook community post that you put out?
I
And
think,
Harley Hunt just happened to respond to the Bain community post, correct?
you might be right. I can't, that might just be a post, yes.
Okay.
I know this is definitely 100% Facebook.
Okay. But you see here when your post where you're talking about it was just out walking the house for 2 hours. 3 weeks ago, it says like or reply. That has Harley Hunt 3 weeks ago saying thank you so much, like a reply.
Yes.
That's a community post you were making, correct?
Yeah,
And
probably.
you responded to a community post, correct?
Yes.
This wasn't just a text message just between you and Harley.
Yes. So you are correct. I was wrong on that earlier.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. I think that's all I have, Your Honor.
Redirect.
No, thanks, Sharon.
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Ms. Mobley? No? All right. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Thank you.
Watch your step. Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Mobley, as